Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the throne room. Oh, it's good to be back, folks. I hope y'all are having an amazing week. It's week 6. This is the season finale of the Top 5 series. We're going to cover college football running backs, the top 5 going into the 2019 season. And I'm excited because looking at this list, and just looking at some highlights of some of these guys, very, very exciting. Not only for this week's podcast, but for the 2019 season. I mean, football is just around the corner. We just got to finish up summer, and then we're right in there, baby. We're right in there. You know what I'm saying? So, get some housekeeping stuff out of the way before we start with top 5. We're going to get into some honorable mentions and then go from there. And then we got some interesting stories. We're going to talk a little Tyreek Hill. We're going to talk a little Sam Ehlinger and Baker Mayfield drama. We're going to talk a little NCAA drama. Questions, existential crisis of the NCAA, which we love to cover here on the show. So welcome if this is your first time. If you're a returning listener, thanks so much. If you want to go donate to the show, we have a Patreon set up, so go check that out. It's only $1 a month. It's very, very cheap, very cheap stuff on there. There might be a $5 a month on there, but it doesn't matter. Just do what you feel. Everything helps. We're trying to get some better equipment for the show as we're going into the second season of the show, which is crazy. It's going by so fast. We're excited about the second season of the show. It's going to be great, and it all starts this fall. So just keep tuned in for that, okay? If you're tired of listening to just me, wait for the second season because the boys will be back. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget that. The boys will be back. All right, enough of that. If you want to go support the show on social media, go to the Throne Room on Instagram and Twitter, and you'll find all your additional information there. There's links to the Patreon if you're too lazy to type it in. I know that gets I don't want to have to go to Safari and type this stuff in by hand. It's too much work. It's too much. I can't do it. Anyway, that about covers it, I think. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say. What if you don't want to have to spend money? And this would be me. If I was on your end of this podcast, this is what I would do, because I'm a cheap person. I don't like spending money if I don't have to. That's just me. The people on this show can verify that. I have the capacity to do so, but I just choose not to because I like saving money. And I know that most people out there with common sense would also. Big thing that is completely free to do. It just takes literal seconds, is go on Apple Podcast, iTunes, and give us a 5-star rating. It's just the way that the iTunes algorithm puts us higher in the charts, and that is the best thing that we could do, is just to get more people to see us on the charts. So if you could just give us a 5-star review, you can leave a review on there. Just say, this is a 5-star deal, just following instructions, or, say if I'm an idiot, or say if I'm, not an idiot on the review there. That would help us out tremendously, and it's free. It's free, so it takes literally no time at all. So go do that. Other than that, just go tell people. I need to shut up. Okay, you're not here for this. You're not here for this. This is ridiculous. Okay, top 5 running backs going into 2019. First of all, I just want to say this. In the world of college football, there are teams with powerhouse running backs, and you think immediately of Alabama, you think immediately of Georgia, LSU, Ohio State. You think of these teams that have just running back after running back after running back, and really there's only 2 players on this list that are representing those schools. Of course, Clemson, Travis Etienne's got to be on this list. Everybody knew that. Of course, I'm not going to give it away where he's at. I can't spoil it, you know what I'm saying? That'd just be ridiculous. But keep in mind that this is a difficult list to make. Any top 5 college position list is difficult to make because there are so many different caliber teams, and teams are on different calibers, so you can't compare different running backs on a 1-to-1 scale because, schedules might be different. Their stat pack might, be disingenuous of what their actual skill is related to another running back. So basically, if you take two very, very good running backs and say one plays for a no-name school and just has 2,500 rushing yards and 22 touchdowns in a season, and you compare that to an equally skilled running back that plays for Alabama who might only get 114 carries for 700 yards and say 6 touchdowns, then you would obviously take the guy with a higher stat pack. But again, since they're at different calibers, really they're the same skill. They would perform equally if you set them on a 1-to-1 scale. So keep that in mind. This is why, and even with the quarterbacks and the wide receivers, it was more difficult to sort of find comparisons. So I did look at the schedules for some of these guys, and really what that means is, when I say that I checked the schedules, is I sort of looked at what the team that they're on, who they would play this season, and I determined if they were going to be worthy to keep an eye on. So what that basically means is these are people that you should know if you pay attention to well-known D1 schools. So, and you'll understand what I'm saying. I'm not going to pick some guy who had, 2,500 rushing yards last season, but he plays for Temple, and I'm not trying to, if there is somebody out there that actually has a lot of good numbers on him, but he plays for a no-name school, he might actually end up doing well in the pros. We just don't know. But it's harder to, I should say this, it's a lot easier to hedge my bets when it's a guy that everybody sort of knows, and I'm not trying to explain a person that, you've never heard of before, because I waste a lot of time, and you're not here for that. Okay, I get it. So, honorable mention, we're going to just go ahead and start here. I guess Florida State is a team that kind of has a lot of good running backs out of. I guess. I mean, it seems right. I can't name one off the top of my head, but sure, why not? So this is a person that it's Cam Akers. So he's on the honorable mentions list. Somebody that doesn't really have a lot of qualities to him, other than that he's just a kind of a hard runner. He does a lot of great things with his vision, and just looking at some of his highlights, he's notable. He's well regarded, I feel like, and he's dangerous. He is definitely a weapon for Florida State. I don't think he's Heisman material, although some people might disagree, but he put up 1,000 yards this season, no doubt, which is good by no means. I mean, good. It's obviously good, no doubt about it. That's not something to shy away from. But 800 to 1,000 rushing yards, maybe 1,200. That's what I would. That's his ballpark, in my opinion. And so you got to give it to him. I don't think there's anyone else that could compete with him in that bracket. Now, we're gonna go ahead and go to the number 5 pick. Now, the number 5. First of all, let me just set the stage for these picks here, because first of all, number 1 is pretty easy. Number 2 is pretty easy. Now, number 3 and 4, these are interchangeable. Seriously, I mean, they're really interchangeable. For different reasons. I think you could make arguments that either one of these guys could make 3 and 4. And so take it with a grain of salt, basically, because, it's possible that you could say either one of those dudes are 3 or 4. Now, number 5, in the number 5 spot, this is a pretty easy pick. This guy's going to be a wonderful complement to Jalen Hurts at Oklahoma. Let me just first say that. When we talk about complementing running backs, this guy is a complementary running back, and it's going to help a lot when Oklahoma, and we've seen it before, when Oklahoma has two individuals in the backfield that can run, it's dangerous, and Jalen Hurts can run, and he will run you over. Kennedy Brooks is somebody that is going to complement Jalen Hurts' running ability. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure that Jalen Hurts can throw the ball. He's got an arm on him that he has been cultivating. all through the offseason. I promise you he'll be able to be more accurate than we ever saw him at Alabama, and he's got the cannon. That's not something that you lose unless, you're 80 years old. But so Kennedy Brooks, let me just put this in perspective. Last year, and I didn't really know about him until I did my research, but he didn't really get 200 carries the last season. He only got 119, but he got 1,000 yards. In fact, he got 1,056 yards and 12 touchdowns, which is a very good percentage. That's unheard of, especially when you're playing very good defenses like Georgia and Alabama. And so, got to give it to him. Got to give that man respect. The reason why he's on this list, not just because that he put up great numbers last season, because that's not at all what this list is about. This list is about players going into next year. He has a whole nother year to prepare. He's going to be a sophomore. He's going to be a sophomore? Yes, he's going to be a sophomore this season, which means that he's going to have a solid season, and he's not done progressing. He's still got another season to cultivate his skills, to get a little bigger, a little faster, a little stronger. And that's scary when a guy is putting up those numbers as a red shirt and he just kind of comes out, and it's a little scary. I'm just saying. So definitely have to keep an eye on him. But like I said, the reason why he's on this list, not only because he has good stats from last year, but because Jalen Hurts is going to be leading the charge on the offensive side of the ball for Oklahoma next year. And it's going to complement the skill set so well that you can't shy away from his presence on the list. Okay, can I be honest with you? Okay, now we're at number 4, and like I said, this one's 3 and 4 are going to be iffy. Both of these guys deserve to be on this list, and literally I have like the number 3 pick written in and the number 4 pick written in, and I like crossed them out a bunch of times and like drew arrows, because I'm a psychopath, and whatever. The point is, these guys are basically interchangeable, almost tied, but I'm not going to make a tie because they're different running backs. One's, very agile, very quick, very, I don't want to say lanky, but not like, it's just a different style running back, obviously. So, and the other guy's a heavy hitter, low to the ground, will run you over, kind of like a Mark Ingram type, or a, Damian Harris type, low to the ground, run you over type guy. Both of these guys, at least I would say one of them is a Heisman candidate. I don't know about my number 4 pick, my number 3 pick. That's sort of the oddball, and a lot of people won't understand it because of previous stats. If you compare the stats from last year, it's not going to happen, but let me explain why I did what I did. Excuse me, I hit the thing there. All right. Number 4, DeAndre Swift. If you didn't know anything about DeAndre Swift coming into this episode, he's the son of a heavyweight boxer, beast. Dude is a stud, and you can definitely tell that this guy grew up with a dad that was a heavyweight boxer. I mean, he started working out with his dad when he was like 9, like weights and stuff, and which I wish I had that, but I didn't. So he is ahead of the curve in terms of strength. This dude is a monster. He's already on the Heisman watch. I think he's number 3 on the Heisman watch to date. That might change depending on when you're listening to this. But I think right now he's 3 or 4. He's definitely top 7 on the Heisman watch for sure. But he's with Georgia, and so he's going to be. It's weird. This happens occasionally, but not often. He's going to be fighting with his quarterback for the Heisman race, Jake Fromm, obviously. Both of these guys are going to be fighting for stardom, essentially. And it's another one of those complementary deals where, you have a great quarterback and you have a great running back. Which one is going to, make more headlines? Is it going to be your knight in shining armor quarterback, or is it going to be your bulldog, just mean bowling ball, run you over, even if you're a linebacker or a 300-pound defensive lineman? this dude will do it. He's just jacked. He's a beast. Definitely a bulldog. I didn't even realize the first time I said that was their mascot.